We all know about Order 66 and how Chancellor Palpatine used it in order to wipe out most of the Jedi in the galaxy. The plan to use Order 66 was quite brilliant in that the Jedi's troops, whom they trusted, could so easily be turned against them. And since this is Order 66, it would be safe to assume that there are at least 65 other orders that came before it, and you would be right. The Republic had a total of 150 contingency orders. These were orders that every clone trooper had to memorize in their training on Kamino. These 150 orders were created so that troops could appropriately respond to a vast number of scenarios or dilemmas that the Republic could be faced with. And while we know that there are a total of 150 contingency orders, we only know the details of just a few of them. And these orders can cover a large variety of scenarios for the Republic to follow. Like for example, Order 4 states that in the event that the Supreme Commander, which is the Chancellor, being incapacitated, overall Grand Army of the Republic command shall fall to the Vice Chair of the Senate until a successor is appointed or alternative authority identified as outlined in Section 6. And of course, Order 66 states that in the event of Jedi officers acting against the interests of the Republic, and after receiving specific orders verified as coming directly from the Supreme Commander, which again is the Chancellor, the Grand Army of the Republic commanders will remove those officers by lethal force, and command of the Grand Army of the Republic will revert to the Supreme Commander, which is the Chancellor, until a new command structure is established. And so these contingency orders exist so that the Republic and the Grand Army of the Republic can be prepared for anything. However, out of the very few orders that are known and are in canon, one in particular that is even more dark and sinister than Order 66 is Order 37. Because when you read Order 66, it's not necessarily an evil order, it is designed to protect the Republic from rogue Jedi. However, we do see Order 66 used not as a way to protect the Republic from rogue Jedi, but as an excuse to go and eliminate them. But on the other hand, Order 37 is no doubt a very evil and authoritarian contingency order. So what is Order 37? Order 37 is an order that capture of a single wanted individual through the mass arrest and threatened execution of a civilian population. Follow-up directives include scenarios for body disposal of civilian casualties and the suppression of communications. So, whenever Order 37 is enacted, the troops basically hold innocent civilians hostage until the particular person who they are looking for turns themselves in. And so, not only do the troops threaten these hostages and imprison them, but they actually start executing civilians until the person they want to arrest turns themselves in. However, the order does go on to state what they are to do with the bodies, as well as the protocols for controlling information after Order 37 has been enacted. And the source for these protocols comes from The Last Jedi, the Desperate Mission book, which I actually remember reading whenever I was in 3rd grade. But the protocol states that it is imperative that bodies not be released to family members. All holonet communications must be shut down and calm silence maintained for the next month so that the Commission for the Preservation of the New Order can control the outflow of information. No accounts to be disseminated, as they can prove detrimental to the Imperial control of surrounding systems. And in the book it states that proof of body disposal documented for Inquisitor Malarum to pass to LDV. And before I dive too much deeper into this order was actually used twice, and I'll talk about that more here in a second. But I want to say that this order was never actually used by the Republic, but it was used by the Empire within the first year after the declaration of the New Order was given by Palpatine. So not only was this order extremely dark, but the Republic that created this contingency order knew how dark it was, so they put measures in it to keep it under wraps. For example, by not releasing bodies to the families and disposing of these bodies, the Republic can make the argument that maybe this person just went missing, because if there's no body, who's to say that they aren't missing? And in order to keep this under wraps, cutting off all holonet communications prohibits news of this atrocity from getting out. If there's no communication of news going out about this atrocity, and there are no bodies to prove that it happened, it will only go on as a rumor. And so you may be thinking, why does the Empire care about whether or not this gets out? I mean, they blew up Alderaan and did not care. Well, Order 37 was enacted 1 year after the Empire was declared, and the Senate still existed at that point. So they still wanted to try to keep their hands clean whenever possible. And before I tell you when these instances happened and when they went into effect, I just have to say that Palpatine is an evil mastermind for ensuring that this contingency order was put in place. Order 37 is the absolute best way to ensure that you're going to be able to capture the remaining Jedi after Order 66. Because if the Empire is able to capture, or track down a Jedi to a particular town or a city, this would be the most effective way in getting them to turn themselves in. Because the Jedi, they're supposed to be selfless. So if they're put in a scenario where the Empire will start to kill thousands of people and imprison people, the Jedi will turn themselves in to prevent that, or in theory they would do that. But Order 37 would be used by the Galactic Empire 1 year after the fall of the Republic. It was enacted on the planet Bellassa, I believe that's how you pronounce it, in order to get the hidden Jedi ferus, Olin, out of hiding. After the order was enacted, Imperial officers instructed the Bellassa, I believe that's how it's pronounced. All Bellassa must return to their homes. No Bellassa will be allowed to leave the planet. Yusa is on lockdown, which I believe is the city that this took place in, and Outlanders may approach the checkpoint. So I believe people from off-world were able to leave, but the people who were native to this planet, they weren't so lucky. And around the same time, 1 year after the Empire went into effect, this order was also enacted on the planet Rosha when a small band of local rebels tried fighting back against the Empire. And so that's it. That is Order 37. Let me know what you think down below. Do you think that Order 37 was worse than Order 66? And comment down below if you have any more information on Order 37 or other instances in canon or legends where this order was used. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like. That helps me out a lot with YouTube algorithm. And as you know, this is a brand new channel, so I need all the help I can get. And consider subscribing if you're new here and you love Star Wars. And if you enjoyed the video, you're probably gonna like more of my stuff, so just go ahead and do that. But anyways, thank you for sticking around till the end of the video, and I'll see you next time on Holocron Hub.